Hi, welcome to Living My Best Life with Lisa Marie. I'm so excited that you're here. If this is your first time, welcome. And all of my subscribers, you guys are the best. Let's get crafting. DIY number 1. I'm starting with this Beware Halloween sign from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to sand off all of that glitter. Now this is going to be the back of my sign, but I don't want any of it falling off and getting on my workspace, especially once I start painting. After I finish sanding, I'm going to use my little ladybug vacuum from Amazon, and I'm going to clean up all the little sanding dust, and boy does that do a great job. I'll put a link in the description if you need one. I'm going to put some craft paper on the back just to finish it off, something I'm just going to start doing that I haven't done up to this point because I just don't like the way the back looks. I got the craft paper at Dollar Tree. And now on the front, I removed the little ribbon that held up the sign. I'm going to fill in those holes with some wood putty, and once I get that sufficiently filled, I'm going to sand that down and make it nice and smooth. I'm going to use the Waverly paint in the plaster color to paint my sign. I'm going to use a chip brush that I picked up at Dollar Tree, and then I'm going to distress it with Apple Barrel's burnt umber paint that I got at Walmart. The reason I wanted to use a chip brush is that I want it to look like wood, and because of the bristles being the way they are, if I finish it off with the bristles all going in the one direction, which is going to be long ways, it will give kind of that sense of wood grain. Now I want to create the effect of planks or pieces of wood going across like shiplap. So I'm using my square right now, and I'm determining how wide they're going to be, and I'm going to match them up with the little edges that kind of are already scalloped to look like separate pieces of wood. I drew them on with a pencil, and then I used an old black marker so that it would kind of go on lighter and just went over those lines. And I didn't do it perfect on purpose because I want it to look like wood. And now I'm using the burnt umber. I'm going to go around all the edges, and then I'm going to go around those lines and then over the middle as I think it's needed. And I'm doing dry brushing where you put just a little bit on your brush, wipe most of it off, and then lightly place it on the project. Today's projects are going to be Valentine's themed, but not necessarily romantic, gushy themed. There's a lot of different kinds of love, and the most important kind of love, I think, is the kind that God has for us. So this sign is going to be inspired by that. And I printed this out on my Cricut, and the words are love came down, meaning God came down to us as a human and wanted to be with us and show us his love. And to me, that is the best kind of love there is. There is no love here on earth that's better than that. And that is what my sign all about. I don't really decorate much for Valentine's, so I wanted to create pieces that I could leave up if I wanted any time of the year. And so although these 3 projects are going to be Valentine's themed, they will be projects that can be, or decor that can be left in my house anytime I want. I have to laugh because I realized the word down was up. So I picked it up. Luckily I cut them apart and I made sure it was in line with the other words. And for everyone who knows I'm on my new Cricut journey, my son bought me some Arteza transfer tape, and boy does it work well. Also, the tools I ordered for my Cricut finally came, so now I'm using appropriate tools. I had this garland left from Christmas time that I hadn't used, and I thought it's not really specifically Christmassy, so I wrapped it around both ends. I actually ended up just doing the front after because it wouldn't lay on the wall flat, so I ended up cutting that one side, and on the other side I just cut the pieces ahead of time, and I hot glued them on the back. I'm going to cover those edges with some cute ribbon, and then I'm going to add a hanger out of nautical rope. I'm just going to tie a knot on each side. I'm going to hot glue it in the back, and then off camera you don't see it, but I ended up putting some Gorilla like heavy duty tape over the 2 sides, not over the ribbon but next to it, because that's a long sign and I didn't want any pressure to be put on. I wanted to stay in place. I'm super happy with how this came out. I just love what it stands for, what it means, and I love the way it looks. I hope you guys like it. Friends, today's video is a collaboration with Wendy at Sparrow Living, Luke 12:6. Wendy is a sweet friend of mine. I adore her channel. I love her DIYs. She's so talented, but more importantly, she is a beautiful soul. She has a heart of gold. I love her faith. I love what she stands for, and it is my honor to collaborate with her. I will have the link to her channel down in my description box, and also you'll want to go see the video that she puts out today that is part of this collaboration. I cannot recommend her highly enough. Please go show my sister in faith some love by visiting her channel. DIY number 2. For this project, I'm going to use a leftover ring from a Dollar Tree wreath form that I had used the rest of it, and now I'm just using my little tin snips to cut off those pieces that connected the other rings. Once I take them off, I'm going to bend this and shape it into a heart. Took a little bit of doing, but it is possible, especially once you get the pointed bottom, and then you can bend it in. And then I also had to reflatten it because I had just literally pushed it all out of whack there, but I did get it to lay flat. My husband was kind enough to go out into the yard and collect all different sizes and lengths of sticks and twigs. So I cut them so I could form them around this heart and basically make a stick heart. And I used my hot glue gun. I'm not going to show you the entire process because it did take quite a while, but I think you get the idea of what I'm doing. If I find a bent one, I use it for the curve, and then I just use smaller pieces to shape the rest. And I went about 3 high, if you will. Not an exact measurement, but just till I thought it looked full enough and covered the wire form. Once I got the wreath done and it felt like it was thick enough, I took some of my burnt umber paint and I painted the black wire form. I just wanted it to kind of camouflage into the heart itself. I'd love for you to join me on my channel by hitting that subscribe button and turning on the notification bell so you'll always know when I have a new video. I do all kinds of DIYs, gardening in the summer. If you enjoy my video, please hit the like button and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. That helps my channel so much and I do appreciate it. The next thing I'm going to do is take this large 11 by 14 frame I got at Dollar Tree. And what I want to do is I want to attach this heart to the glass piece, and I want to remove the backing so it'll be like transparent. I found these rub-on stickers or decals from Dollar Tree, and they're so cute. And so there's this little green wreath, and then there's some other pieces. I'm going to put a little one on each of the corners. I am going to attach this heart to the glass. I used some hot glue. I did paint the frame this celery color chalk paint from Waverly, and when I was all done, I didn't like it. So I ended up taping it up and painting it black. You'll see that here coming up. Now, the way I made it look like it was hanging was I took a piece of buffalo check ribbon from the Dollar Tree and 2 pieces of rope, and I just glued those to the edges of that little ribbon, and that's just a faux hanger. It's really hot glued onto the glass where it touches. I've painted the frame black now. I feel much better about that. I added some twine in the middle of the frame, and I really think this finishes off the look, or at least I thought I did, and then I thought, nah, it needs a bow. Oh my gosh, so I added a little buffalo check bow that I got at Walmart, and it was already made. It was the perfect size, and I just trimmed a little dovetail at the ends. I'm really happy with how this turned out. It's a very unusual piece, and it's Valentine's, but it can be left up any time of the year, and that's what I was hoping for. Would you have added the bow? Let me know. I just wanted to let everyone know that I am on social media. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest. Same name, Living My Best Life with Lisa Marie, and I hope to see you over there. And last but not least, DIY number 3. I found this house-shaped piece at Dollar Tree. Now, I somehow didn't film me removing the flowers and painting it with plaster-colored chalk paint. Now, I used my Cricut to cut out these heart shapes using some scrapbook paper. That was actually my very first thing I did on my Cricut, and it was pretty easy to do. So I used some painter's tape to kind of decide where I'm going to place them. I wanted 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom, and then I'm going to put some words in between. Now that everything is placed, I'm going to Mod Podge them on. I used my Cricut to print out the words Home Sweet Home, and this is before I got the new transfer tape, so I'm using my painter's tape here, and I'm attaching that right in the center between the sets of hearts. And this went on really nice and easy, and it was a cute little font. And you wouldn't have to have a Cricut to do anything like this. You could use stickers, you could use the transfer type of letters where you rub them on, or you could even use a paint marker or a marker to do this if you have writing that you're comfortable with. And I did put a little Mod Podge over the top to seal it. I don't think I always will do that, but I did this time, mostly because there was already Mod Podge on there. I found some ends of painter sticks I had used from a different project. I was using my cool little miter shears. I'll link that in the description. That is one of my favorite tools so far, by the way. I don't know how I worked without it before. And I'm trying to create a roof. So I'm figuring out the angle and the shapes, and I'm using my pencil to draw some lines until I finally get it shaped the way I want it. I'm going to sand the edges where I cut just to kind of smooth them off so that there aren't any little rough sides. And then I'm going to get my hot glue gun out and I'm going to attach them to the top. I'm going to stain the roof pieces with the Burnt Umber by Apple Barrel. You know, I used to use the Antique Wax by Waverly, but then I couldn't find it anywhere, so I switched to the Burnt Umber. And I'm actually really liking how it works. You just kind of wipe off the excess. And then I decided it wasn't really dark enough and matched with the other decor, so I added some of the ink-colored Waverly paint to it just to darken it up a bit. And I'm also going to do a very small amount of dry brushing around the sides and the front, just so it matches with the other decor pieces that I have where it's going to be sitting. Something I did off camera was I took a very, very lightly damp baby wipe and I kind of wiped over the top of the distressing and it smoothed it in a little bit and it made it look, there it is right there, it made it look a little more natural. Now I know everyone's going to be shocked when I say I feel like it needed something more, but it did. So I did a 3-strand cord and I cut it and made a little shoestring bow out of it. I love doubling and tripling up the twine. It gives it such a neat look and texture. And I literally just made this cute little bow, pulled all the little loops out, cut the edges so that they were the same length, and I hot glued it right to the center, you know, where the top of the roof meets. And I think that just totally finished this one off. It's so cute. It can be for Valentine's or it could be for any time of the year. Please let me know what you think in the comments. And here is a last look at all 3 of the projects. I'm super happy about how they came out. I'd love to hear what you think. I hope you all like them. And I want to remind everyone to please go check out Wendy at White Sparrow Living's channel. Again, her video from today, the link will be in my description box as well as her channel link. And go show her some love and please let her know that Lisa Marie sent you over. Thank you so much for watching and being here. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and definitely give this video a like, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Until then, you are a blessing.